What it is, people, it's your boy Doggie Diamonds, another episode of Doggie Diamonds No Filter. Today I got a special guest or two that I've interviewed before. One was not too many years ago. One was like my second interview ever. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. To my right, we have...
Oh, I'm Chris Rivers, Dragons Up, and to my right is the one and only mother of Chris Rivers.
Liza Rios.
Liza. You got to be Liza Rivers today.
Oh,
Nah, she go through it. People get upset. They're like, "Oh, he abandoned his Hispanic roots." I'm like, "No, nigga, it's a rap name."
Yeah,
like,
and it still means Rivers. Right?
Yeah, Rivers means reels in Spanish. Yeah.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I just wanted something like it flows and something to flip it. But people are just weird, man.
But your real name, as you told me, you are a junior.
Junior, Christopher Lee Rios Jr.
Wow. And if y'all don't know who Christopher Lee Rios is, y'all need to do your homework. But that's the legend.
Facts.
Is your father a legend?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's unanimous. I think even the people that probably don't know much about him could at least say and know that stigma. Like, he is a legend. Yeah.
What makes somebody legendary?
I think I will say that you don't need to die to be a legend. It does help. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone wants to, even me, I'm one of those people that I listened to Nipsey beforehand.
Facts.
But after he passed, I got put on, because of everyone supporting him more after he passed, I got put on to the stuff that he did beyond the music more. And then it heightened that. So I think my father, when you're a legend, you reached a certain status in where you were. And I think everyone that I consider legendary, they mastered themselves. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were better than each other, but like Bruce Lee reached the maximum Bruce Lee
before
level.
He died.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, before he died, he reached and obviously there was places that he could have went even further if he had more time, but he was one of those people that mastered himself. I think my father was meant to do what he did. He found his calling and he went ridiculous with it, and then the timing was also pivotal enough for someone with his specific talent in that timing to have an impact that it did, because if he came out today, it wouldn't be the same. He wouldn't be the first Latin to go platinum. He wouldn't, obviously the world would be different, but even that sort of rap is not glorified as much now as it was in the 90s. So
man, if that big pun hit right now, the way that shit hit then, I don't care, it's 2000, it could be 2052. When I first heard your father, I said, what the fuck is that?
Facts. But your ears were conditioned at that time to still. There's people now who kids now. The kids now, bro. If you played You Ain't a Killer, they like, where's the turn up? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
can't get jiggy with it.
And granted, there's gonna be still a huge. I'm saying it wouldn't, because it can't. What he did can't be replicated because of the timing as well.
Gotcha.
You understand? He was the first Latin rapper to go platinum. He broke down the doors and certain, and in that time period where it was before these things,
Facts.
You couldn't really see him unless you saw him. He said it himself. Everybody thought he was black. You know what I'm saying? So you see the Spanish person, the impact, the way culture was, the way the world was, technology. It was the perfect timing mixed with the perfect individual who mastered themselves that orchestrated this series of events that gave him this legendary moniker. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's undeniable when it's all those things combined. It's like this was foretold, like it was written.
It's crazy because he's one of those who was a legend off the first verse.
Yeah,
the Snoops legend off the first verse. The people who are legends. It didn't take them long to be legends.
Oh, to be established, right?
Yeah, and it was less like, yo, when you first heard Deep Cover, you was like, yo, who's that with Dre? We know who Dr. Dre is.
Yeah.
But who's that? So what was the first song
I don't know the first song, but I know the second verse that he wrote was cannibalism, living in my metabolism, catching as and rats and baby baptism. That whole
Yeah, Mando was like a year old. He was like a 92, but then he used it later on.
Yeah, that was and he had like the ice cream freestyle, like certain like really early stuff. The really early stuff that he put out that even before when he was lighter in weight, so his voice was even more different. And then he started popping more. But when you really think about it, he only had 2 studio albums during his time. So within 2 studio albums,
he didn't even complete the second album.
Yeah, he didn't even complete the second album really. And then the third album is just the greatest hits compilation, and they just be species. So he really only was here for he
had 3 because he wrote Fat Joe out.
Yeah,
we gotta count that.
But yeah, we could. You know, but you go. That's discography. You feel me? Like when you talk about, because the masses don't really fully know that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things when you see him, like he's only here for a couple of years, and he's only here like for a short amount of time, and he established himself like
almost like Biggie though.
Yeah.
Biggie came out in like 94, but by 97 he was gone.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
3 years.
And that's
it seems so long.
So you see, some people have 10-year careers, 8-year, and don't have that. And granted, there are people who just because you're famous doesn't mean you're the best. Yeah. I think especially today, you know what I mean? Like I think most of the people who are famous are far from the best at what they do. So there's a lot of, luck and media involved and tactics and stuff like that. But I do feel like he capitalized, like to be able to capitalize off that moment in such a short period of time. And then I see people on the bus 20 years after he passed with tattoos. Like you never met this person and you decided to immortalize him on your flesh.
The Jordan,
the air pun. But sometimes it's whole portraits and like different things. And it's like, like you never even met this person, but just through his words, he impacted you enough to immortalize him on your flesh. Like that is legendary. You feel me?
Like, he put a lot of work too, if you think about it, because in the short time that he was here, not only that he did his music, the Capital Punishment, and then he did Babe, but he did a lot of collaborations. When that first time,
I think he broke records the first year.
He did constantly did collaborations. Anybody was coming through, anybody that reached him, he did a collaboration with, and then he did a lot of ghostwriting. You know what I'm saying? So that was a lot of
just hella work putting in, and then you could tell clearly, like, and then there's people with talent and then star quality. He had both. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so he had that star because it's bigger than he was bigger than the music. You know what I'm saying? He was.
No pun intended.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
no pun intended.
Come on, that triple.
Yeah,
you dumb nice. Yeah, there's people who come up to me. He's like, yo, I remember when your dad came up to me. I was a little kid, and he pulled me to the side and dapped me up, and there was 100 or he handed out mad condoms and said that like you fucking with it, like big punk, like just he was in the hood touching people, leaving impacts, making stories, and everyone has crazy stories about like it was bigger than the music. He was a star, and I think that's what makes you a legend too, because you have to have a level of impact. You know what I mean? And the world
when he walked in the room is like there goes Pun.
Yeah, omnipresence. But more than that, I feel like the world is obviously different if he didn't do what he did. That's, you know what I mean? Like some people leave baby impacts and some people leave like, and obviously it's the butterfly effect. If I stepped on a roach, maybe there's a nuke that will go off. I don't know. When you really look at somebody and you can really pinpoint like if that man didn't do what he did, so much would change.
Let me ask you something. When you see these greatest lists, and they got the list of 50 greatest rappers. His name is never on there.
So I do look for it.
A lot of times it's not.
Sometimes it is, but they be like it'd be like in the bottom. It don't be like.
It's not like a bother is a strange word. Like it's not something that's like eating at me. You know what I'm saying? But it perplexes me. It confuses me because a lot of these people that make these lists, they're knowledgeable enough to know who he is.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like a fucking my 16-year-old cousin's making a list and my father died 3 years before he was born, so his top 5 is Lil Yachty and like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's it's like these are people like well seasoned.
40 and up.
Yeah, well seasoned. And it's not like, did you forget? Like I don't know. So like it's confusing because it's like I could arguably put my father on that list and he could top a lot of people on there all around there. And granted, it's by opinion, but I feel like on a top 50, he should.
Top 50.
Arguably, I know it's all based on opinions and stuff, but if we're going to argue, he should be there. You know what I mean? So when he's not, it begs various questions. Is it forgetful? Because he's one of the, out of Biggie, Pac, him, like the legends that pass, he's one of the ones that get the least amount of plays.
He's on 37 on T.I.'s list.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he gets the least amount of plays.
But he's on T.I. list?
Yeah, I think
salute to T.I.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? And he's on a few other lists. I didn't go and like check all
every list. Like, let me see your list.
I'm not gonna front. I see a list, I do check.
Honestly, I just didn't care. Like, this is news to me that he wasn't on. I assumed that he would be on most lists if they knew what they was talking about. But I think it's that. Like, it doesn't eat at me. It is confusing, and I would like to, if I could read everyone's mind at once and figure out why, then sure. But yeah, I don't know.
Also, March 9th hits. Biggie Day. Everything is Biggie'd out.
Yeah.
September 7th, I believe, or the 13th. Tupac. Yeah, it's one of those days.
It's a few
Tupac.
months.
we don't know the day that your father passed. We don't even know his birthday.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for us knowing that?
Those days, they do play his. Those are the days where I hear his records.
Well, his
being played.
birthday is November
His
10th.
November 10th is his
Okay,
birthday.
the world,
November 10th.
He was a
Big
Scorpio.
Pun's birthday is November 10th. So let's
1971.
And his death day is February 7th
of 2000.
February 7th.
February 7th. So on those 2 days, there is more plays for people who do know, you know what I mean, and people who do remember.
There's a few people that support, but on my end, it's been hard for me throughout the years to do anything consistent
because
or
it's
anything
great
because I don't
things.
really have any the resources or the
Platforms.
support or
Yeah.
the platform to do such. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have the support. So then it's just
reason why I'm saying that, I'm just so shocked that the people who portray or claim to have loved him and messed with him,
Right.
and it's not one person, it's people. I'm like, you know, when we think of dead in the middle, that everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Little kids are gonna try to say that.
It's
So
a
it's
thing.
like, all right, we have Biggie, greatness. We know March 9th.
Yeah.
Tupac, we know his birthday. Tupac doesn't ever go anywhere because they make movies about them. But it's like when it comes to with Pun, it's like you think maybe my thought is maybe because it wasn't tragically violent. I think violence because the other two died violently. Even Nipsey died violently.
Yeah.
Even Eazy-E, they don't tribute Eazy-E a certain way.
Yeah.
Because it was so-called health. But your father's definitely
It's actually
health.
an interesting perspective. I never thought about
But
that.
I think
Yeah.
we attracted to violence. We attracted to the gang culture, violence. You know,
Right.
murder, death, kill. Your father died from health complications.
issues, yes.
Eazy died from health complications.
Right.
And nobody talks about him because it's like
his death wasn't connected to something bigger than him. I will say that.
Got
You
you.
get me? I mean, it is because when you talk about really most deaths in America at this point, it's caused by weight-related, heart-related issues. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that is not cool to talk about when we talk about health. You know what I'm saying? I'm a vegan. I do my best to speak about it. I'm not preachy about it. You telling me before this you lost 100 and change pounds. You know what I'm saying? I think health is very important. But he died from health-related issues. But you know, shout out to Styles P. He put a juice bar in the hood. You know, in Castle Hill. You know
And
what I'm saying?
one in Brooklyn.
And one in Brooklyn and one in YO. There's a few of them, right? So he did that in a place that I felt was pivotal because all you got around there is Chinese spots and pizza spots
Crown chicken,
crown chicken and stuff that.
Make sure you click subscribe to this on iTunes. Go to radio.com. Download the app. It's free. You can hear the podcast on there. You can see the video on YouTube, youtube.com/Doggie Diamonds TV. Until next time, peace.